The Lall Show, only on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
The third world is not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few poor countries in this world. Only the people are poor. When people didn't have enough to eat, when people were driven to the edge of desperation, there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. The capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the bauxite. They have taken out of these countries. These countries are not underdeveloped. They're overexploited. They're overexploited. They're overexploited.
It's Friday. It is the first Friday of the year, and welcome to this first Friday of the Lall Show for the year. Of course, we were here with you last Wednesday. Welcome back to the second program for the year. So, on Fridays, generally we bring to you a short program, but I believe both Mr. Lall and I and Raj, we had enough drinks for the Christmas season, so we're going to try to spend as much time as we can with you this evening. Remember, you listen to us here on Kaieteur Radio. If for some reason during the program you might have lost us, feel free to call us on our WhatsApp number. I will step outside and answer your call, and of course I'll try to rectify that problem. That number is 622 2222 622 2222. Call me on WhatsApp or regular call, and of course we will try to rectify that problem for you. With that in mind, I welcome you. And just a point of note before I hand you over to the man of the moment after his presentation, we're going to take some calls. Those numbers are 226-745-324, 624-6456, or the famous number 6 and all the 2, 622 2222. With that said, sir, it's Friday and the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste.
To you, Raj, and all the wonderful people joining me tonight for this Friday night program. Just in case I missed anyone last week, Wednesday, let me take this opportunity to wish each and every one of you a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year. May 2023 bring each one of you and your families tons and tons of joy and happiness. And with that, Josh, I begin tonight's program.
Yes, sir.
We at the Kaieteur News have been faithfully and diligently presenting the news daily to you about the constant developments on this oil sector. This is not meant to embarrass anyone, but simply doing our duty thoroughly and consistently by highlighting all we can. What have been baffling us is the silence and the absence of our leaders in government and out of government. The president and his vice president seem bent on ignoring the issues we constantly highlight, as though these issues will vanish, will disappear into thin air, and all will be well. Well, Mr. President, let me say this on this Friday evening, first Friday of 2023. The issues are not going anywhere, and unless you properly and urgently address them, they would haunt the Guyanese population and damage us for generations to come. We live in a different time, Mr. President, where transparency is the mantra all over the world. Yet, this government and its leaders have decided that secrecy is the best strategy. Secrecy Uncle and auntie has now become a way of life in Guyana for them. Now, can we go on like this? Can we have our country governed like this to get the best out of our resources? Can we? Uncle and auntie, since the PPP took office in 2020, they have never held a cabinet press briefing to inform the nation of the official and critical decisions made on contracts and other major issues of this contract, especially in the oil sector that this whole world is boasting about. Never had they done that in 2 years. President Ali has not one day come out and addressed this nation as to what is going on with this oil sector or face the press. Instead, he resorting to Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and 1 and 2 statements that he pelt out now and again. He has met the international media more than meeting the local press in this country. Is this the right way a leader should manage and run the affairs of a country? Auntie? Huh? You guys tell me. Is this why you're staying on your fingers for? Silence with your bread and butter and that of your future? I'm just asking. As for his ministers, hardly ever they hold press conferences to talk to this nation as to what is going on within their ministries. Vikram Bharat, who holds the portfolio of natural resources, in charge of the gold, the diamond, the bauxite, the timber, and now the oil sector. Like President Ali, he has never held a press conference to date. He does not even respond to emails or messages sent to him. And like President Ali, whenever he goes anywhere to deliver a message, as soon as he finishes, he sneaks out and disappears. If you do shout, yes, if you do shout out a question at him, he tells you he's not here for that. He did that many times to my reporters. Even Stabrook News had to embarrass him the other day. They did a story showing how he gave them the same response 6 times in 2 years on ExxonMobil audit reports. Hear that? He repeated the same answer 6 times in 2 years on the Exxon audit reports. He said it is still in the final stages and he will get back to them when he knows more. Oh, help me in this country, please. As for Bharat Jagdeo, the man in charge of the oil sector, now and again when he holds press conferences, he does not give the media the opportunity to ask the burning questions about the oil sector to which he is heading. And whenever he does answer or get caught in a bind, he blames it on others and directs you to ask the relevant heads or ministers, in which he knows no one will respond. The mining contracts, the audit reports from the oil sector are just 2 classic examples of how he treats me and you. Oh, look how this man treating you and me. The owners of these resources, Uncle and Auntie. As for Ashley Singh, heading the finances of this country, should have at least held an end-of-year press conference to brief this nation as to where we are and where we are heading. That too was missing from our expectations. As for the GRA, who's tasked with auditing the oil, gold, and timber sectors, they too have not held a single press conference throughout 2022 to at least update the citizens as to what are the findings, how and what we are getting out of these sectors. I hope you guys taking note. I hope you guys taking note and see what's happening in this country. As for the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, one of the key players responsible for regulating the oil sector, to safeguard and protect Guyana. Yes, Guyana, the country, and all of us. Like President Ali and the ministers, no press conference was held throughout 2022. And this is the agency that is responsible for making sure that the environment of this country is adequately protected with the deadly chemicals being used in the oil and gold sectors. Wow. That agency is responsible for protecting Guyana with the flaring, protecting Guyana with the dumping of the produced water into the ocean, and secure full liability coverage in all sectors, including the oil. And them didn't hold a press conference for the entire 2022. It's Friday, Uncle, January 6, 2023. Don't you believe that things have to change in this country, man? Don't you believe that they have to do better than this? The choice is yours. Sit on your hands and lose your legs. Or speak up, please. Let me repeat this. There is more than enough for every household in this country to receive no less than $1 million Guyana dollar per month presently. Salaries can triple and massive development can take place in this land if only these leaders come clean, be open, be transparent, and do the right thing. Only then this country and its people will live the life of what the international institutions are saying about this country. Uncle, if this type of hide and seek, run and dodge business continues in 2023, prepare to live the life you're living. You are living presently for a very long time to come. We at the Kaieteur News have been doing our part and commit to continue playing our role. How about you? Where do you stand on this? What will you be about? What are you saying about this? I ask this against the background of those headlines which I did not get to speak about on my programs during my 2 weeks break. Each headline, I will put a simple comment, Uncle. So, you can tell me where you stand and what you think. This is the first headline I am beginning with. High Court judge stops Schlumberger from operating radioactive storage facility. That's the headline. Radioactive materials, Uncle, are deadly to human. Why would the EPA give approval for such an activity to go on in a residential area? Huh? The EPA should have never approved such an application that can cause harm to its own citizens. Uncle and Auntie, a few people had to go to court, find their money to go to court. And the judge, Justice Nareshwar Harnanan, halted the operation and said EPA broke the law when they issued permit to Schlumberger to carry on that hazardous material storage. You hear that? The second headline, Guyana urged to beef up audit capabilities and introduce strong reporting standards to avoid highway robbery. So said an international advisory group on oil and gas. Oh. Now you tell me, Uncle, since when an international group has to tell our government to find and put competent people to check the books of ExxonMobil and the other oil players to avoid being robbed? Since when, man? Huh? Since when an international group has to tell President Ali that he must put in place a strong media team to report what's going on in the oil sector on a daily basis? Huh? Those are no-brainers. My grandchildren would know that they have to monitor and scrutinize every single bill that comes their way in a 50-50 partnership business. An international group got to tell Guyana that. Our next headline, local content was created for retention of wealth in country, not extraction. Let me repeat that one for you, man. Local content was created for retention of wealth in country, not extraction. So says the president of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Oh, the president of Georgetown Chamber of Commerce said that, Uncle. He is urging government to plug the loopholes in the legislation to retain the wealth in Guyana. Now, you tell me this, man. You want to tell me that President Ali and Jagdeo doesn't know that all the services of the oil sector, be it transportation, goods, or other services, should be given to the Guyanese people and Guyanese people alone, man? Huh? And that he should put laws in place to ensure that foreign companies do not get these types of jobs, what Guyanese people can do? Huh? You want to tell me that a Trinidadian company can come here in Guyana and open a taxi service to shuttle the oil people from the airport to the city or anywhere around town, man? No, man. No. No, y'all don't tell me this thing, man. I refuse to believe that. But we local Chamber of Commerce is begging him to plug the loopholes in which a foreigner is getting all the contracts. And instead of the wealth staying with the Guyanese people, the foreigners taking it with them to their countries. This has to be corrected, Mr. President. It's 2023. Don't let these things continue, please. Happy New Year, by the way. I wish both President and Vice President happy holidays. And for the first time, none out of the two of them responded by saying even, thank you, Glenn. I didn't want a wish back from them, but at least they could have said, thank you, Glenn. Oh, this is Guyana, Uncle. This is Guyana, Auntie. Our next headline. Local insurance fraternity hopes to be more than fronting agencies for ExxonMobil. Again, what these people are saying is that they don't want just their company names to be used, getting a pinch of the insurance business when the hag of the insurance policies is given to foreigners. They want to be a major player in which they can benefit from the oil rather than only the foreign insurance companies. Simple as that. Meaning they don't want to be used, Uncle. Local content must be more than just Guyanese companies being used as fronting agencies and middlemen. We must be major players in the industry. We must be given the opportunities to be major participants in the insurance policies. Not being used. Not being used by foreign companies. All this thing going on in this country. I hope you guys retaining what I'm saying here tonight, you know. Government to give Guyanese 2 weeks to pursue and make recommendations on new oil contract. That was another headline during my break. Now tell me, in 2 weeks, Guyanese can pursue an oil contract and able to make contributions to it? Something we know very little about. You think President Ali and Jagdeo really want the Guyanese people input on the new contracts for the new oil blocks with a 2-week span? I don't think so. They have their mind make up as to what contract Guyanese people should live with. And next headline. Puerto Rico file racketeering lawsuit against ExxonMobil and others for deceiving the public on climate change effects. If Exxon can deceive a state within the United States of America and many other places, what do you think them doing to Guyana with the flaring going on out there? They tell you the truth? Them deceiving every one of us. Nothing they tell us is truth. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. You know who really Exxon is? Huh? You're dealing with a set of gangsters that would burn down your house knowingly with your newborn baby inside for their pockets. That's who you're dealing with. They have no morals whatsoever, no decency, especially if you're not white. oil sector plagued with gross mismanagement as government allows companies to show disrespect for its own laws. An international lawyer said that. Let me repeat that. Oil sector plagued with gross mismanagement as government allow companies to show disrespect for its laws. The lawyer in that story is saying that the government is siding with ExxonMobil to break all the environmental laws, all for their pockets. Yes, all for their pockets, the oil people pockets. But will prosecute our brothers and sisters for a little mechanic shop if they have one dumping the waste oil in the gutter. You remember they did that to one guy who went to court and the magistrate tell the boy to go ahead. The lawyer is saying they don't give a damn what becomes of Guyana or its people. This is the people are you staining your finger for? They endangering all of you and future generations. For who? For who? Oh, that's a big question. For who? For themselves and the foreigners, if you don't know for who. Guyana still has numerous opportunities to increase their influence over Exxon spending, despite fatal flaws in the Stabroek Black contract. So said an oil export from Trinidad and Tobago. Let me repeat it. Guyana still got numerous opportunities to increase their influence over Exxon spending, despite all the flaws in the contract we signed. The export is saying Guyana can take charge of every cent Exxon spends out there, despite the bad contract we have, uncle, so that this country can save itself and come out the misery the citizens are living in. Again, you mean to tell me that President Ali and Vice President Jagdeo doesn't know that they have to control the money that are being paid to buy this and to buy that, and the money they're paying on all those contracts, man? No, they have to know. In a partnership business, they have to know that they have to authorize all these contracts. I refuse to believe that they don't know. Exxon can wake up one morning and give to one of their families a $5 million US contract to supply pipes or cement, or a $400 million US to supply chemicals, and Ali and Jagdeo just paint their mouth with glue and stay silent? No, man, no. You want to tell me them FPSO we are paying billions on, Guyana doesn't have a say? You got to be joking, uncle. You got to be joking. A man buying a bicycle that's selling in the store for $50,000 and hand you a bill for $1 million. Now tell me, man, which donkey run a business like this? That is actually what the Trinidadian export is telling Guyana to do. Take stock and be part of the expenses ExxonMobil is throwing at us. I have said this thing in so many different languages, so many times on these programs. But I'm just repeating what international oil exports are seeing that's happening in this country, and they're repeating it. Then another story said, 3 international consultants submit bids to review ExxonMobil's fifth project plan, which they say going to cost over 10 billion US. When I see that headline, I wanted to do a program right away on it. Three international consultants submit bids to review the fifth project Jagdeo is going to approve. Or I don't know if he don't approve it. Jagdeo hiring people, nincompoops, pay them hundreds of millions in US dollars to review these projects. And what Guyana gets out of it? Absolutely nothing. What are they finding? What are they preventing? Absolutely nothing. So why hire these people? Pay them fat US dollars when we just have to accept whatever Exxon throws at us. Huh? The Payara 9 billion along with the Yellowtail 10 billion. Where is Guyana? Are we any way richer with those reviews and audits? Jagdeo did? No way. No way. But we paid hundreds of millions of US to carry out them reviews. Both reports on Payara and Yellowtail. Guyana still waiting to see from Jagdeo what the people did. If Guyana get value for money, and whose side they really work for. Just in case this is over your head, uncle, let me put it in a nutshell. Every project out there that costs them 8, 10, and 12 billion US dollar, Guyana is supposed to hire international experts with the know-how to come, review, and check them to see how much we are being ripped off. Instead, Jagdeo bring an incompetent person. People who never review these size of projects before to look out for Guyana. Could you believe that? And guess what? Even hire one of Exxon's client to look out for Guyana. Yes. Alison Redford, the lady name, you remember her? The Canadian woman? Yes. She was a client of ExxonMobil. Jagdeo bring her here to review the 10 plus 19 billion. Almost 6-7 years of Guyana budget. What did she find? What did she save Guyana? Absolutely nothing. So we didn't see the reports until now. Jagdeo is hiding that report under somebody's skirt because we can't see it until now. You want to hear another piece for that? The money we pay her and the money we're paying these people to audit and review these projects is borrow money we're paying interest on. This is how you run a country. This is how Jagdeo and President Ali running this $1 trillion oil sector. This is how they're going to uplift the Guyanese people, me and you. Let's move on. I want you people to know that most of these things I would have talked about on several programs before. This is not something lightly that we should take lightly. These are things that must be in the open. This is not a 7-day wonder. These are billions of American dollars that has to come out of our oil. And if we don't correct, if we don't fix, if we don't put a stop or do it correctly, not a single cent the Guyanese people will get out of the oil. Let's go to another story we did on December 28th. Guyana now hurrying to modernize waste management laws as oil sector moves at breakneck speed. Wow. This is like putting the cart before the wheel. We pump in oil 3 years now. And Jagdev had said 2 years ago that we have a cradle-to-grave waste management system put in place. Yes. The deadly oil, chemical waste, and all the other waste from the rigs and the frigs are being dumped all over since 2019. And now these people are telling them, yes, that they're going to modernize the laws and systems for this. Ask them where they will get the money from to modernize the waste facilities, uncle. They can't modernize the electricity sector or modernize the water industry 56 years now. They're going to find money for take care of Exxon mess. Yes. Way to run a country, man. Way to run a country. Hear this next story. Report flags government's grip on oil regulatory state agencies. Report flags government's grip on oil regulatory state agencies. A report conducted by an international group in Guyana last year said the government manipulating and taking control of the state agencies, especially those responsible for the management of the oil and gas sector, by giving them instructions to fast track and facilitate approvals, breaking our own laws and regulations. You hear that, guys? So the public servants who are supposed to be doing the right thing to safeguard Guyana are being overrun or overruled by the government. How on earth can this country run? Can this country run an oil industry like this to benefit the people of this country, man? Huh? Can you guys tell me? Now let me share this last story with you and then take 3 or 4 telephone calls. I don't know if you guys hearing my voice or notice anything funny about me. I didn't come to work today to do a program tonight because I got a fever and fresh cold. And I got it 3 days now. But knowing how you people depend on the information I give on this program, I have decided to do a short program. I also believe doing these programs will ease the cold and fever faster. So here we go. On December 20th, Guyana celebrated 3 years since becoming an oil-producing country. Today, all the international business and financial institutions, the IMF, the IDB, the World Bank, is just a few of them, who have said that Guyana is the fastest growing economy in the world per a capita basis. Meaning, uncle, the amount of oil being pumped up daily puts Guyanese, man, woman, and child, as the richest people on earth today. But is that so? No, no. You guys get anything, feeling anything, smelling anything, or eating anything? I have shared this information and talked about it on many of my programs before. Yes. This is so. This is so correct. What those institutions is talking about. What they're basing their conclusions on, uncle, is the amount of oil being pumped and leaving this country. That's why they can say we're the fastest growing economy. It is correct on pen and paper. What they don't know is that the oil going out, yes. But 99% of the oil money that is going out, yes. The money is not sitting in the hands of the Guyanese people. We are just getting the crumbs, uncle. And crumbs can't make us the richest people on earth. Only the oil that is leaving the shores, making the country the richest on earth, not the people. Let me give you guys a classic example. Listen this carefully. I did a TikTok for it. Listen to me carefully and I'm gone for Friday. Ghana, I have said, is a beautiful country with a direct flight from here. Man, in 4 hours you can land in the capital city called Accra. I've been there and stayed at one of the best hotels I ever stayed in. Even better than Europe. When you talk about food, food galore. Listen it carefully now. Them started pumping oil, uncle. Yes, auntie. Ghana started pumping oil in 2010. And in 2019, 9 years after, they were dubbed, they were labeled as the fastest growing economy in the world. They were even praised for the steps the government took to manage and regulate their oil sector. Uncle, Ghana had ring fencing provisions in place. They decided what money has to come out as cleanup costs. The government also decided what should be deducted as expenses, such as project costs, interest rates, cost on all projects and the drilling of those wells. Ghana had insurance coverage to protect the country from an oil spill or any oil spill. Most importantly, Ghana Oil Contract gives them 12.5% in royalties plus profit share. I don't have to repeat that. I think I was very clear. Today, uncle, today, 2023, 3 years after being labeled in 2019 as the fastest growing economy in the world, the whole country is drowning in debt with a population of 32 million people. Are you hearing what I said there just now? Today, 12 years after pumping oil and 9 years after labeled the fastest growing country on earth, is drowning in debt. Hear what one of Ghana's government ministers said 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Ghana is today faced with major economic and financial crisis. The loans they took from here, there, and everywhere, they just announced they can't meet the repayment schedule. You didn't hear what I said there, man. Ghana, with all the rules, regulations, laws, and systems in place to govern the oil sector in that country, getting 12.5% royalties with profit share, bankrupt as we speak. I should say bankrupt as I speak. Unless you're talking to yourself there. Yes, they're bankrupt. I think I shared a story how they're stopping taxi drivers and demanding to see their tax certificates. I shared a story with you guys already. That's how bad Ghana is today. I did tell y'all too how the Chinese fetching out their gold and the government put soldiers to run them out of the country. But the Chinese turned citizens of Ghana. So the soldiers can only run in the day and stop them. But when the soldiers back turn in the day, the Chinese digging out the gold as fast as they can in the nights. Yes. Chinese working night and day in Ghana. Let's continue. Where is our country, Guyana, today? We are being dubbed as the fastest growing economy on earth. Without any proper management, regulations, rules, and laws in our oil sector. How you like that one, Josh? Namaste, uncle. Namaste, auntie. We have outdated laws, no rules, no regulations, and almost non-existent insurance arrangement. No ring fencing provision in place, and most of all, no sense of direction where we are going with those billions upon billions of US dollar project costs, along with the interest rates we are paying on more than 50 billion US dollar already invested out there. We have no sense of direction where we're going. These are the kind of questions I want to confront President Ali and Bharat Jagdeo, not Vikram Bharat. He's a good kid. He doesn't know much. I want to confront Bharat Jagdeo. I am willing to pay him if he can come back on this radio program. I have some beautiful questions for him. Wow. We have no say on how much money coming out as cleanup costs. And guess what? Trotman and Jagdeo has settled for less than 2%. Listen to me carefully. Trotman and Jagdeo has settled for less than 2% royalty with a messed up profit sharing arrangement. Now you tell me, uncle and auntie, where do you think Guyana, yes, this beautiful country that called Guyana, would end up? Better than Ghana, right? Ghana has everything in place with 12.5% royalty and bankrupt as I speak. 12 years after pumping oil. Oh gosh, I feel the fever, the cold going away. I'm going to stay on. I'm going to stay on, uncle. I'm going to stay on. Guyana with not even a matchbox in place. Can somebody shout and tell me where this country is heading? You can shout it from your bedroom or your sitting room. Through the radio, I will hear you. Or you can call me after the program and let's gaff. Remember, I tell you guys I'm only taking a few phone calls today, right? My throat. Oh, the fever is going away though. Norway. Norway pumping oil 53 years now, Joshua. Started off pumping the same amount Lisa One pumping presently, 120,000 barrels a day. Uncle and Auntie, today they are not only one of the richest countries on earth, but they have become a lending institution. They have made so much money that them can pay countries for keep their forest intact to preserve the world so that we can breathe and live a healthy life. Guyana is one of the countries they've been. Remember a few years ago, they gave Guyana $250 million US. We didn't collect all the money yet though. We collecting it in tranches. We collected maybe 50, 60 million so far. Not certain. That's how proper governments with honest and decent leaders manage their country's assets. You think, Joshua, if those leaders were corrupt the way ours are, Guyana would I get to her 50 million frico? Huh? US frico? Here's the sweetest part of all that I just said, Joshua. Our Vice President Jagdeo been to Ghana and met with the same president that put Ghana where it is today. He even he went so far to invite, yes, the man to come to Guyana. And he came here with an entourage. What they discussed and what came out of that meeting, none of us knew. Jagdeo didn't say nothing. You know? Jagdeo didn't say, man, let me go to Norway and meet with the Norwegian leader. Or invite the Norwegian leader here to put Guyana or to make Guyana like Norway. He went to Ghana, uncle. Ghana. The country that run bankrupt. A set of corrupt politicians that run those places. One of the projects that helped Ghana or put Ghana where it is today is the gas to shore project. The same gas to shore project what Jagdeo pushing down we through here. Yes. In which they say going to cut electricity costs and give people a better life. The same thing the Ghana government tell its people. How them gas to shore project going to cut electricity in half and give the people and take the people out of poverty. Today they're bankrupt. You don't want to hear that story. That story needs 3 programs alone. How the minister get his friend, involve his friend, pay his friend secretly for build the plant. And you don't want to hear how much billions they thief out. That is the only thing Guyana and Ghana got in common. Yes. Both of them didn't do a study to see whether the gas plant going to be good for the country or going to rotten the country. Jagdeo doing the same thing here with the Wales gas plant. You know who benefited from the gas plant in Ghana, uncle? Like I said, the ministers and the friends. And of course, the oil companies. I tell you already, they were losing 250 million US a year on that gas to show project. They used to produce electricity and had to throw it away with the amount of gas they were buying. They were forced to buy that because that's what the government signed on to. Yes. The oil company, the ministers, and who knows, maybe the president was collecting the hag of the money. Wait, watch and see. Is the exact model Jack Davis creating here. The project under the coalition, that same Wales project under the coalition, was never going to pass 700 million US. Today, it did 3 times that 700 million. 2 point something billion American dollars. This afternoon I sit down and in my head I'm going through, doing a little maths. 10% interest rate on 2 billion US dollars, uncle, is 200 million US a year. It can give Guyana electricity with no problem. No headache. 2 years is 400 million interest. 2 year, 2 billion is 400 million US interest. That money can buy or put in solar for life in this country. And all of you can get electricity free. Free. All you got to pay is little maintenance costs. And Jack, they're going to pay 200 million US interest alone on an uncertain project. That's the interest alone, you know, not the $2 billion premium. Oh. By the time these intellectuals done with Guyana and our future, our children will have to resort to flambeau and become slaves all over again because they will be drowning in so much debts. The countries who you borrow the money from will walk in and take your land. Yes, your property, your wife plus your children. And your uncle and auntie will become slaves, maids and cooks all over again. Go and see how they're living in Ghana. $1 and $2 US a day they're working for. A granny was pounding beer cassava to make fufu. Yes, so when I asked her where they planting, she said no have. And they got GRA. Them officers stopping and demand tax certificates to confirm whether they pay taxes. The same country that the world said was the fastest growing economy on earth have millions upon millions of people hungry. Hungry today. Mark my words, uncle and auntie. If that gas to shore project don't stop, you will be staring at another white elephant, worse than the Skeldon plant, in which our children will be saddled with that burden of 2 billion debt added to the Skeldon plant and the airport. You remember the airport, 160 billion, 70 billion US don't spend there? I don't know if you pay any interest rate yet, but they say how they're going to be profitable. How they're eyeing flights out of Africa and how it will make enough money to pay back itself. Oh boy. Joshua, I doubt whether you people can absorb all this information I give you guys there, you know. I doubt it. You know, sometimes me and my staff gets overwhelmed and bogged down at times presenting these stories to Guyana on a daily basis. You know? You know, if I am to ask you guys, uncle and auntie, to tell me what you have grasped on this tonight's program, I am pretty much certain that half of you can't remember half of what I said. And because of this, because of that, your government, one after the other, takes advantage of that. A matter of fact, Jagdeo himself one day said, Guyana is a 7-day wonder. I am the only person who tells Jagdeo many times, it may be a 7-day wonder for the Guyanese people, but not for Lall and his crew or his team at the Kaieteur News. Oh, Guyana is a 7-day wonder. Ah, wow. Thank you, Father, for giving me this brain. There's a quote in one of the religious books that says, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, of love, and that of a sound mind." I don't know if I say it right, Joshua, but that is what Glenn has and his staff. Yep. I see, before I end, I got more time, Joshua? If you wish, yeah. Before I end, let me see this. I saw President Ali all worked up on a TikTok, fighting over a couple homes. Yes, squatters built on the reserve in Moko, where the Eccles Diamond Highway has to pass. In the first place, those people were not supposed to be there. No one is allowed to squat on government reserves. Had both governments enforced the laws of this country, no one could have gone on state land without permission. And I maintain that. But it is what it is. Today, President Ali is saying he wants to remove them and offering them homes elsewhere. So what's the big deal, Josh? Yeah. Huh? You have to remove and the man giving you a home elsewhere to have our highway run. What's the big deal? Lo and behold, the opposition leader Norton, I am told, went there to lend support to the squatters to score points. Man, Josh, if a president is willing to build back a home, to remove the people to build the highway, then what's this big fuss about, man? Huh? Sure. The same Norton knows that it is wrong for anyone to build on government reserves. My gosh. Uncle and auntie, that is not my contention. That is not what upsets me. What upsets me is if Norton and President Ali bring out that same energy and fight within them, the same way they're dealing with this issue on the oil sector, then those people need not worry. Mansions could have been built across this country in gated communities, not only for those couple people, but for every citizen that is living on government reserves in them shacks across this country. You hear me, Josh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I also say this, uncle and auntie, if the same zest and zeal in those homeowners hits the streets on the oil deal, yes, that have them living in that misery, oh man, they themselves would have removed from that reserved piece of land them go and build their homes with. Yes. They themselves would have removed and go and build homes. Build mansions with the money that would have been flowing into their pockets. Yeah. But this is Guyana. Beautiful Guyana, thank you. It is what it is. Yes, it is what it is. I'm not going to say more. With that, I say namaste. And remember, I love you all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching me on Facebook. And please, you can listen to my TikToks. They're making waves on social media. Yes. All in Africa. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
99.1, 99.5 FM, 20 hours 30. You can call us this evening. Like Mr. Lall said, we'll take a few calls. We already have a caller here. We'll take it. Caller, good evening and welcome. We lost that person. 226-7443.
I have one here.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Good evening, sir, and Happy New Year.
Good evening, my brother. Happy New Year to you, Dr. Lall.
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel that you've been placed here for such a time as this. And I appreciate the work that you're doing. I pray that you would keep up your dedication and your commitment to what you believe. I wish if many had your zeal and their commitment to what they believe, I think Guyana would be a far better place.
Hold a second. You come over as a pastor. Did I quote the I have
the Bible.
I quoted right? I did that quote right?
You quoted the scripture correctly. God has not given us a
spirit of fear, but of love
and of a sound mind.
And of a sound mind. Thank you. Now you said you wish others can come out like Glenn Lall. No, I don't believe that there's another Glenn Lall. All right. There's no other like you. There's no other like me. There's no other like Josh. There's no other like President Ali or Norton. We are all unique. We are all special in our own way. What I want you people to do is to spread the word and get this fight going. We have to bind together. We have to bond together, and let us take this fight. I am blessed, I know that. I am blessed with the ability, with the wisdom, each day to say it and to bring it out the way I do, every day in the newspapers and on these programs. That I know in my heart. How many others blessed? They are, but they're playing their role too. Okay? I have some of them in here who are blessed too. So they can be us, but let us talk to them and say, hey, come on board with us. You know, spread this word. Get them to listen. Get them to understand. So when the right time comes, we can say, hey, we are ready to fight this fight. All right?
Absolutely. I think spreading the word,
let me ask you.
Essentially what's needed.
See that I have you on this on the line here. Let me ask you a question. All that I have said here, hadn't I said those, bring out that information, do you really believe that a government would do things like that?
I've actually summarized your thoughts tonight, and I'd like to, if you give me a minute, and I think this answers the question.
Will do. I'll wait. Go ahead.
the problem, we've got to look at the problem from a macro perspective, right? And then we will look at it from the micro.
I hear you.
On the
Go ahead.
macro level, it's a spiritual problem, right? And we have to pray. And then you have Henry Kissinger as a quote. He said that these countries like Africa that are wealthy, well, let's say the ones that are back, they have wealth, and we have to make sure that they do not benefit from the wealth because we need it in the West. That's essentially in the policy from Kissinger. Number one. Number two, all these organizations with the word in them, they're all a part. They're with the oil companies. They're a part of what's going on. The Great Deception, the Great Depopulation, and the eventual enslavement. That is the macro. Okay? Now, the responsibility is that the Guyanese people need to hold their leaders accountable. Pray, be persistent, and stand up and fight and be willing to die. Otherwise, they will die as paupers and slaves. I think that encapsulates what's going on. What do you think?
I hear you. I hear you. That
you're doing your part, and our part is to spread the word.
That Henry Kissinger syndrome,
yeah,
or thought, still lives.
Absolutely.
Still lives within the European and the white people, the North American leaders' head onto this day.
Absolutely.
I keep on playing. A matter of fact, they're teaching that mantra in their universities, and they're hosting conferences with the business community, telling them that the resources, the wealth of third world countries belongs to them.
Absolutely.
I am playing one or two, Josh, on the radio unto this day. That prominent people in the United States is holding conferences telling the people, if we allow the African nations to take hold of their wealth, we will suffer. So we have to keep them there, keep them uneducated, keep them stupid and dumb, so they can rob us all.
Absolutely.
And guess what? Third world country leaders, including Guyana, you hear me? They are aiding and abetting that same syndrome.
Absolutely.
I'll give you an example. They're talking so much about educating the people in this country. You know how much for a radio license in this country? It is the most expensive. It is the most expensive in any part of the world today. This radio license that I'm using here. You hear what I'm saying? Nowhere in the world,
Yes.
nowhere in the United States or Europe is paying the kind of license fees and broadcasting fees like what this government is charging the radio people. Now, is this... Wait, I'm not finished. I am not finished. Is this the way they want their people to be educated? And that's my point. That's my point. They're stifling the people of this country by throwing hefty fees on radio stations. And if you can't pay, you have to shut up or shut down. Yeah. Now, look at it. Look at it. Look at the money they're paying the teachers to educate the children. Now, if you really care about your people, the first thing you will do is pay those people a proper, decent salary. They don't have to run to the islands or run to North America and Europe and become teachers and nurses there. Pay them. And we have tremendous money. By the billions are being stolen every year out of this country with our resources. and paying those people peanuts to educate a nation. How you like that? You really want to educate us? No. They're joining with the Europeans and the North Americans, the developed country leaders, to enslave us by not or through corruption, by not making these things simple and easier for us. Everybody, radio stations should have been Wild West. Every village should have had one to educate the nations. Instead, some of these guys can't even pay the license fees.
I think they're following the dictates of a greater power, the IMF and the World Bank. They're being told what to do. If you will notice that the increases that were given, if you look at all of these countries, you will see the minuscule amount of money that was added on to salaries. It was done across the entire Caribbean region because there are people behind them pulling the strings.
I see.
To the issue with the media, Malcolm X said, and they know this because it has to do with the truth and enslavement. Malcolm X said that the media is the most powerful entity on earth. He said, why? He said, because it has the power to make the innocent guilty and the guilty innocent. They know the power of the media, so they've got to keep it out of the hands of the average person. But the Lord has put you in a position where you have the media because the Lord has plans and you're disseminating the information. And it's our responsibility, like you said, to pass it on. And I implore you all, everyone at the sound of my voice, Glenn is doing his part. We have got to do our part. Tell others, engage others, let them know what's going on. You know that someone said that all it takes for evil to flourish is for good men to do nothing. And believe me, knowledge with knowledge without actually standing up, in my book, is publicity. Okay, so we've got to do our part, my brother. I agree with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for engaging me, and I'm praying for you.
Thank you, and I thank God.
I say with my South African brothers, La Lucha Continua.
Salute. Thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
Have a good one. Have a good one. Joshua, I was getting a couple of calls here.
Yes, sir.
Let me see if I can return the calls.
Please, no problem.
But I like the guy. Let me see. We have to do a lot more than what we are doing, Josh. We have to do a lot more. This gentleman was calling me. It's the new year, guys.
Good evening, Mr. Glenn.
Good evening, good evening. I see you were calling.
Happy New Year to you and the Kaieteur team and everything.
Thank you, my
First
friend.
of all, this oil, I was looking at the interview with our president, with the Al Jazeera journalist, and it really upset, my whole everything, my whole being.
Yes, it's
Because
it's upsetting.
to see this American Al Jazeera journalist, this man asked him about this 11 billion barrel of oil and this bloom for this country. Mr. President, what you when you hear about this discovery, what is it?
Oh.
Man, all the questions that this journalist posed to this president, the man just trained and going in another direction.
He learned from Barajagdeo.
Why is it that this $1 trillion US island that we have there, Mr. Glenn Lall, this president is running than for man, it's really sad. He diverted everything. All the questions. If you ask him about rice and potato and bhaji and boro, he can tell you everything about it. But when it comes to this $1 trillion island, the man want to talk nothing about it.
A matter of fact, he said that the oil money is being used to develop the country. I think I said Wednesday, or I said it on a TikTok, that he didn't tell the man that he's borrowing money from the World Bank and IDB for build bridge, to build hospital and build all these things. You know, Sunday, as you talk about him, right? I really don't listen to him, you know, because when I listen to him, like he offends my spirit.
Man,
You know,
you could say it again.
the man offends my spirit in me. So I just tell him, I said, listen, whatever he said, just let me know what he said. Right? I've come to the conclusion that unless President Ali move away from Jagdeo, this country is in danger. This country is in danger. And it's very difficult for him to move away from Jagdeo, because Jagdeo would have put him there. You know, Jagdeo handpicked him and put him there. So, you know, he would have a loyalty towards the man. But unless he move away, and I think he means well, unless he move away and take grip of himself and say, listen, use his religious background, right, into how he run this country, man, things can change. But like I said, if he stick with Jagdeo, danger ahead of us.
You see, Glenn, we got so much of oil there. And our president, you mentioned it umpteen times, never hold a press conference
Never.
to tell this nation, the Guyanese people, what is happening there. And the minute, you know, I have never heard on no press conference or any occasion that they had some kind of press conference that any other journalist or reporter ask any question. It's only you are here asking these questions about our isle. And when you do ask these questions, these people get so upset.
They're offended.
It's like you touch something. You know, it's like when you got some toe that is so bad and somebody mash it.
No, man. No, you don't put it right. When you ask them this question, it's like you interfere with their wife.
Man, when I heard this woman in Bartico ask the question,
Yes.
and Ali respond to that woman, Mr.
Yes.
Glenn Lall. Man, this man gets so upset and ask she could put in and this and that. Man,
Yes.
this is the president that we voted for. I voted for.
President.
You can't tell me what is happening with this isle and all this thing. And not only that we have an isle out there, but look at the risk and the danger, the fishing people suffering. We got the water problem and look, Sheikh Bash come out and go to your positive. Take that behind. Let Sheikh Bash expose your own self. What's going on?
Yes.
Because there's so much things that this isle contributing that is dangerous for this country, and we can't get a money that could bring in something to compensate us. That we could be able to go and pay a doctor when we drink this thinking water these people giving.
Yes.
You talking about the only but Wakenham and the water over there, man. You go in Parica and see the water who we getting.
Oh, you from Parica?
I from Parica. And the water it stink. And the man, somebody come and say, taking care of the full. Man, Glenn, you never know what's going on in this country with these people doing. And these people taking just loans and giving away. Look at the loans, the interest that you share. You don't get an example. If this thing is 10% interest we gotta pay, look at the billions every year we gotta pay US. And these people just borrowing. What is more sickening is that they allow ExxonMobil to put our money in their bank account for clean up when this isle done. And listen to the video that when Jagdeo was in opposition, how this man so passionate about getting things right.
Yes.
And look how things turn.
Yes.
Look how things turn.
Yes.
Man,
Jagdeo is a two-faced.
I know what's happening, but you know something?
Mhm.
I will quote this thing one more time. Judas beat Jesus for 40 pieces of silver. And you know, when the time reached, it could not benefit him. You know what he did when he realized he betrayed the master for 40 pieces of silver with a kiss? He went and hung himself. He couldn't stand it. You understand? I hope that what they're betraying the Guyanese people for is not 40 pieces of silver. It's value far way more.
You know, my friend, I was never ashamed to say that Jagdeo is a two-faced, two-mouth, two-tongue person.
You know, two-tongue? The man got enough tongue.
The man could sit down. The man could sit down with your smile with you and make you believe he love you and he will do the best to make sure you get thing. And as soon as he back turn, the man could stab you with a dagger in your back.
You see when he was on this
I
think to a pluck chicken?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. I'm going to tell you. President Ali is not a person like that.
No.
But President Ali hang around. You know they say birds of a feather? President Ali hang around the man too much. And plenty of the PPP of them, of the PPP people, think and speak like him. Not all of them. Not all of them. Some of them does not. As much as he would want them to speak, would not do that. You know, I listen a piece, President Ali telling the same journalist, the Al Jazeera journalist, that what the man asked him, he said so. I don't remember his exact words, but something to the effect that people sitting outside and want to tell him how they must spend money. I had to smile. I said, look at these people. Eh? Look at these people.
Man.
A matter of fact, I just want to say, Mr. John on the East Bank, remember I stopped calling people clowns, okay? Good. It's 2023. I'm not calling anybody clowns anymore.
But, you know, Glenn, before we go, they got a particular minister that is the first time he came in. He lived right over the side of Tushit. He know all these poor people who live on the sea dam and in next to nothing, these little shacks. And before they won this election, how we talk about this and how we talk about that. And now this man's mouth is nowhere. I don't know if he get done or something gone with the tongue or what happened. This man is nowhere no more talking about these poor people and want to help nothing. Man.
Is which minister will live over the river? Minister Kaieteur?
Man, that's the man. That's the man. This man said he grew up and he did around poor people and this and that, and he went to the dam and build a hoop and this hoop and which hoop, and now this man ain't no hoop and no hope for these poor people no more body. Is Jagdeo gone with the tongue?
No, well, you see, you can't blame Indar too, you know. Indar mouth sweet. These are election talks. Wait. These are election talks. Let me tell you, all the money that these ministers get for their ministries is for specific things. Indar, I think, Indar did public works, right? So and they're given specific projects to carry out. You understand? So they're just minister to see out these projects. They are not the decision makers. The decision makers that come from after the president, President Ali, and Mr. Jagdeo, and the other one, Ashni Singh.
Oh gosh.
Bye. Sunday, we are carrying a story, a beautiful story. I would like all Guyanese to read it. I will talk about it on Monday. But if you got a chance, read it Sunday. And I will explain it Monday. Man, it would rock your soul. It would rock your soul about what they have done. And Ashni Singh is the man. Ashni Singh is the key player in it. Ashni Singh.
Man, keep up this good work.
Thank you, brother.
I'm
Thank
still
you.
watching the Marriott, you know. Still watching this Marriott.
Oh, you're watching the Marriott? Keep your eye on the Marriott.
This Marriott, me, I there on there. I watching this Marriott whole time because I cannot understand this Marriott making so much money. These rooms sold out every night, and these people, man.
I am telling you guys, I think I show you guys the Marriott profits making right now.
Man, you got this thing out all the time. You take time,
Thank you.
everything. You make this thing so simple.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know, they can't, not a single soul can respond to me.
No,
I am
they
told,
won't respond.
I
They
am,
say the truth.
I am told President Ali spoke about me last night. Well, I will give you guys that Monday. Don't know what you heard. I love when they pick me up. I love when they pick me up.
When you're speaking the truth.
I love when they
the
pick me up.
truth is hurt them. The truth is hurt them.
I remember.
The Marriott that making money, and did you break everything down for these Guyanese people? See everything with start and what happened, and now it's making money. But they had this plan in mind when the first black played.
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't call for preach tonight. Yeah. Have a blessed rest of the night. Keep this good works going.
I love you, brother.
We gonna get this fight over and we gonna win.
We will win.
This Guyana has to win.
We will.
You hear this white American, this guy that wrote the other day and saying what XML is doing to us? He's not a Guyanese. And this thing is gone back to so much years when the whites used to take advantage of us, man. And this is what our leaders, if they're not corrupt, what is happening? It's not that they're fooling. They'll have a tape out there that's showing this man is brilliant. He know what is to be done.
Jagdeo, I could play so many tapes
Man,
to contradict Jagdeo Two-Face.
I tell
So
you.
much. Hear me? That he himself said that ExxonMobil can have their partner, give their own partner
Giving them the
contract.
and all this.
He
I
himself
tell you.
said that. And that never come out my mind. I said, look how this man got to be a smart man. This man know everything.
You know everything.
Yes.
And you know what? You know what is the hurtful part about this? The man keep giving out these more projects, authorizing this thing.
Yes.
And here with this block chicken story, the man said he made it clear publicly. I don't know wherever this man made this thing publicly that the star block black, they're gonna enjoy. This man is shameful.
Yes. No.
These foreign people gonna enjoy the same thing.
He told me that. You had to see the man action. You know, I wanted.
I saw it.
Wait, no, man. If wasn't at a press conference, I wanted to shout and ask him if he mother own the Starbuck Black.
Glenn, I know it.
You know, but when you are at these press conferences, I am told you have to behave yourself. You know? But I want to ask him if he own them or if he mother they own it.
You know, Glenn, I must congratulate you for being so humble and hold on to your sanity in this press conference when you ask this question. I hate nonsense these people telling you. Who we vote for, we put them there. And this is what they're telling you about pluck chicken and pull out the thing by the feather.
Yes.
And now you are asking me by the tail.
Yes.
And you, this man.
I pass people, man.
I tell you, but Glenn.
I pass this country.
The man want to feel that the man believe you're going to lose it.
Yes.
And you want, and you know, when you lose it now, you can say, we can't get Glenn here because Glenn got man.
Yes.
No. But then you're so wise. You're so wise. I think I had a caller before. The man that God put you for a time like this.
Yes.
And the man is wrong.
I hear you.
That man is wrong, Glenn. Trust me.
God is in control, man. God is in control.
I tell you, he's in control.
God is in control. And I ask him, And I ask him every day to guide every moment, every thought of my life.
Yeah.
And once I do that, man, I have no fear for any human.
Amen to that.
Thank you.
Amen.
Have a great evening. Let's take it
Same
easy.
to you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank
Same
you.
to me. Be blessed. Have no fear.
Have no fear.
God is large and in charge.
And Glenn is here. With that, I say namaste, guys. I say namaste. And have a great weekend. God bless you all.
The third world is not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few poor countries in this world.